Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, I wanted to have a talk about two main things in the Ravaged realm. The first of which is we're over here on the test server, which as you can see, squad rotations only has 2 days left, because I wanted to talk about the income of the shop currency and how much you can kind of get out of the shop so you guys know projecting forward on the global side of things. And then I also want to talk about forming your teams on the global side. I'm going to jump over to my account and we'll do a bit of team formations over there and talk about it. What I will do though is I'll probably do a video once we've gone through one round of every faction and then do a whole roundup video talking about the best sort of formations that we've seen from them all. But I'm not going to do them each individually daily, because at the end of the day, when you have a look at the rewards we're getting here, it is not the end of the world. So let's jump into it. Over here on the test server, the first thing I wanted to show you guys is, so we've got 2 days left. Keeping in mind, over here on the test server, I'm not even account level 240 yet. So I have not, you can see here, I'm still on epic difficulty 1 of this boss. So keep in mind, global players that have been playing for a decent amount of time, you'll probably already be on the endless mode, which means you'll be getting a lot more of these first clear rewards than I've actually obtained on the test server. As for rankings over here on the test server, I haven't really stressed over here on the test. I've just gone in, done 1 run each time, and then just taken whatever I can get. Sometimes I do 2 or 3 runs, try and get a little bit better, but as you can see, 128, 197, top 21% over here, and 98 here. So I haven't been trying to like really climb ladders, push it hard or anything like that, just so you know, for the income that I've had. And as you can see, top 101 to 200, we're getting 2650 down to 2350 down to 2050, so on and so forth. I think with global, most people should be like within like the top 20%, because just servers are very dead. I just don't know how they're going to calculate that stuff in general with like players that have left the game, whether they're calculated in that percentage or if it's only people that have attacked. We'll have to wait and see. But in general, I wanted to show you guys that, because on daily rankings, obviously the important thing, if you want this, if you want to get the frame, is going to be these bad boys, if you're a real pusher. Now, we do also have some Twilight Essence, which can be impactful, but not the end of the world. I think a lot of people are still more worried about the Temporal Essence, but obviously climbing higher is going to get you more of those. But, you know, climbing from, you know, these higher ranks isn't going to get you crazy amounts unless you can get into the top 100 and get the extra 1 from there. So that is what we are looking at. But the big thing is the shop currency. So if we jump over here into the Emporium, you can see we've got 2 days left of it, and I have almost cleared out everything from the shop. Now, I did get the soul stones because it is a new account. I'm still trying to get like copies of every A level, so I picked those up early. Then I'm going in to buy these bad boys as well, and then I really don't care about the origami hamsters. I do want to ideally get all of these, and then all of these as well. And I believe I should just about get there. I might miss out on like 1 purchase. But keeping in mind, that is from being on the test server, not being able to clear every difficulty and get those one-time rewards, and also not ranking really highly in the ladder. So you should be pretty safe. I still think your top priority is buy out all the stellar crystals, then buy out all the temporal essence, and then you can filter it down for what you want. The hamsters are definitely your lowest priority, but for some people, maybe the Omni Acorns are going to be higher priority than the Soul Stones or the Title Essence. It just depends on what you've got on your account and where you're at. But in general, for everyone, you want to get all the stellar crystals and all of the temporal essence as your top priority, and I think just about anyone who is involved in the game should be able to get that without even stressing. Like, as long as you go in and you participate, you will get that, because that is essentially what I've done on the test server. And if you look at my characters, you can see that I am still not even 240 on this account, and we are not even in the endless mode. So that should be something that put you a bit of peace of mind that yes, you will be able to get the good stuff from the shop at least, and should be able to possibly clear out almost all the shop, maybe miss out on some of the hamsters. So that is what we're looking at the shop. Now I'm going to jump over to the global side and have a look at the team building process. Okay, so here we are over on my global account. And the one thing that I wanted to add onto what I was talking about before about the daily rankings, don't stress too much, you should be able to clear out the shop. When we look at the final rankings, once we get to this stage, which I will show you guys once we get there on the global, on the test server, in this phase, you can use all of your heroes. So in this early phase where we're doing the squads of the different factions, free to play might struggle a little bit more because you just don't have as many heroes built through high ascensions. And that's why I don't think it's worth stressing too hard about the daily rankings. Just go in there. You should be able to get enough to clear out the shop, get some decent rewards, and just move on with your life. Once we get into the final ranking category and we're trying to push damage on the boss where we can use all of our heroes that we've built, that is when I will do a bunch more videos talking about what I think you guys can do for team formations depending on what cell hypers you have, stuff like that, because that is when you're going to be trying to push, because this is where the big rewards come in. Obviously, getting this one to bump someone straight up from 20 to 25 is going to be really nice and long term. The cosmetics are cool as well if you like that, but the big one is trying to get into the top 100, top 200 maybe, top 500 especially, in any of those ranks, to try and get yourself some more stellar crystals as well. So the final one is where I will go harder on team building and trying to make videos for you guys around teams, because that is the one that matters more to me. I don't think the daily rankings matter as much. They're just not as big of a deal in my personal opinion, and you can just slap something in, get some rewards, and go into the Emporium and buy the stuff you need. That's why I'm looking at that. But for this one, if you are looking to try and get a decent amount of ranking, you can see over here, I actually yesterday 24, I didn't get in the top 20 unfortunately, but I did manage to get top 24, and this is district ranking as well. This is not server, so this is district, so this is going to be a lot harder than some other things. I was lucky in this one because I have a Taylene very well built, and that sort of helped me get some higher scores over here in the previous day. I am still working on my Mauler team, but in general, as cheesy as this sounds and as obvious as it is, look at the formations other people are using. Literally what I did was I scrolled through those formations and I see what is working for people, and the formation I came up with in the end was copying one of these, then adjusting it for the heroes that I have built and the heroes that I don't have built. And that is the way I sort of formed this. It's the way I did it yesterday with the Graveborn Day. You're going to have, and this is obviously looking at endless mode as well. At endless mode, you're going to have one team of 5 and one team of 3. So over here on Mauler Day, I've seen a lot of people using Elsa, and I'm like, shit, my Elsa sucks. And as you can see from my Mauler roster here, besides what is deployed, nothing else really has any value. So what I decided to do here was go ahead and make myself a physical team. I've got the physical artifact, and I've got my 2 defense shredders. I've got my Shakir, who is going to buff everyone, basically everyone in the whole team, and Makola is as well, because the boss does the swirly thing that groups you up. You're always going to be in range of these two, which is an absolutely fantastic effect to have, especially if you have a Mythic plus Shakir. That is where this value is going to bring, because then he's going to buff the rest of the units. Now, obviously, my Seth is not well built at all. He's not well built, but I still throw him in there because he is that physical damage dealer. If you had him built, he would actually do really solid damage in this, and because it is a physical based team where we've got Death Shred, we've got the buffs coming from the 2 other units in that range, I decided was going to be my best one. We're also using the physical artifact, so this was the team that I decided to go ahead and slap in. And then I went to my second team, and that is where I'm like, okay, what do I have left? Odie is my magic damage dealer. He is well built. Cool. We got Smokey as some sustain. Honestly, I've skipped every battle. I don't even know if Smokey gets to his 3rd ult, but who gives a shit? And then I put Coco in. And the reasoning behind this is I'm just trying to get them to basically get to max buff capacity for my Odie, and I'm just trying to buff him as much as he can so that he can deal as much damage as possible. And that was my basic thought process. But once again, you can look at the teams that the others have here, that the higher ranked players are using, and then just sub in and out depending on what you have. Like if we look at Joker's team here, you can see he's gone the magical team up in the first team, which has got the Elsa and the Odie and the Odie there, and gone the physical team in the second team because he's got these units sort of built. But like I said, my formations were a bit different just due to what I actually have access to, and that's why I sort of flipped the table. I did try, don't get me wrong, I did try copying these teams, and they just didn't work for me because I didn't have the investment into it. Then I think this was a team that I saw, and I'm like, okay, these guys are using like the Odie on the second team, they're doing a split on the first team, you know, it's a bit alternative, and I just kept scrolling through till I found something like, maybe I can make something like that work, and that is how I ended up with my team. So if I bounce over here, jump in, and the great thing about this is use all your attacks every day because you've got the skip button. So if you are trying to push at all, like if you're not stressed, just do one battle, who cares? But because we have the skip button, it's worthwhile just going ahead and using it and doing some extra attacks. I mean, this is like the same team that I used before, and I got a little bit less damage. Maybe eventually I'll get a little bit more damage, and then sometimes on my Graveborn Day, just one time I got like an extra like 2 billion damage from the exact same team, so it's worth retrying. But as you can see here, this is where we can see a good little bit of our damage spread. You can see this one, even though he's not too well built, I'm still getting okay damage out of the Seth. It's not really crazy damage because we don't really have a good damage dealer on the team because, you know, Shakir is our best damage dealer, and normally Shakir does 0 damage. So that is what we're looking at there. And then you can see the damage split over here. where yes, we're getting that bit of damage out of our Smokey, but it is our Odie who is dealing the bulk of the damage. And you can look at that, and because obviously a lot of people will be using units that they don't actually use too much, maybe they're low invested and stuff like that, and you can see where your real weak links are. Just take into consideration any supportive capabilities that your units do bring, and when you look at other players' teams, whether they have them at a higher, like at a Mythic Plus, where they have support. For instance, there's a Shakir that's not at Mythic Plus, probably ain't going to be so good because he's not going to actually buff the rest of the team. So that's going to really lower his value in a team. So you just got to look at the investment you have and then adjust based on that. Like I said, there's no one size fits all for every account because everyone's got things at different build levels. But that is just the kind of process that I went through for it. But like I said, just go ahead, burn some attacks because it's the skip button is amazing. I hope they add the skip button to the Dream Realm, to be honest. I think the skip button's fantastic. You see there, almost got to 19. We'll do one more. So here we go, just while we're on camera. See if we can get a new high score. And the other thing you can do is you can just like swap around a couple little positionings, see if a couple of positioning swaps make any changes to it. And, you know, there's all those little things. Once you got a team you think is pretty solid, just do a few little position swaps and see if it can creep you into a higher score range. As you can see there, we didn't get into it. What do we got? 18.5, and I'm just going to keep sweeping through, doing the rest of my sweeps for the day, see if I can get a higher score. Once again, I'm not overly stressed on this period of the different faction runs. It is when we get into the final rankings, where when we get to the final boss during the ultimate siege range, that is when I will really be trying to push, because the aesthetics are actually pretty cool. If I can get top 20, I'd be absolutely stoked, but I'm thinking I'm going to be, you know, top 100, maybe top 50 if I get lucky, and that's what we're looking at getting. But it is those stellar crystals. I ideally want to be in the top 100 so I can get the 15 stellar crystals and this bad boy, because the abyssal essence is a big W in my opinion. So that is what we're looking at. Once again, the shop though, you're pretty much set in the shop, because if you're clearing every difficulty, I don't think you're going to have too many issues picking up all these bad boys. At least, like I said, again, repeating, bare minimum, you'll pick up all the but these stellar crystals and all the temporal essence, and then the rest are just bonus on top. And like I said, my test server is almost cleared it out, and I'm only at the epic 1 difficulty, and I think it goes to epic 4 and then into endless, so you should be pretty good. But anyway guys, that is my roundup of it. I will come back to you guys with more videos. I will check out the final mode of it in 2 days on the test server when we get to the whatchamacallit, the ultimate siege mode, so you guys can get an idea of what that's going to be like. And then I'll probably come back once we've done the 4 factions as well, give you guys a roundabout teams and stuff like that. I'll see. I might even do that, because I know everyone's got different stuff built, so it's kind of not as viable looking at the meta, but I will definitely come back when we get through Ultimate Siege, especially over here on the global server, and show you guys what some optimal teams are that people are using. But as always guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.